Right now, a lot of the content on Instagram and TikTok look like this.
Are you dreaming? Or just going insane?
What? 7 days since she left, I'm still amazed. The way she dressed, I mean, woof. The way she smelled, made my every cell scream rum bum bum bum. Huh? Who knew what in the day?
So today, I'm going to talk about a tool that can help you achieve that filmic look. And that tool is DeHancer. DeHancer is a color grading plugin that uses film emulation to help you achieve that look. The team at DeHancer has built the plugin to work with DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and they're working on a version for Final Cut. But in terms of the photography side, it works with Lightroom, Photoshop, Capture One, and what I use, Affinity Photo. The plugin itself is incredible. The team has asked me to test it out. This isn't a sponsored video of any sort. They just wanted me to try it and give my honest opinions. And if I wanted to, I could make a review video if I liked it. And spoiler alert, I do. With so much content out there right now, a lot of the content just looks similar. And so I think as a creator, you really want to be able to have a tool that can give you the versatility to be able to make your footage look a little bit different. Why DeHancer is so powerful is they have emulated 63 different photography and movie film stocks. And I've honestly have never had more fun working with my content. I started out shooting with my dad's old film camera, and that's the type of look that I was used to having back then. And then for a little while, we were just so blown away by all the camera tech and having photos look super clean and super sharp. But the thing is, it doesn't have that character, and having that character is what makes people feel something. Now, I can't get into all the scientific detail of how they created the film stocks, but they did use the actual film to do that. There's a ton of information on their websites, like a lot. They answer so many different questions of how they created it, why they created it, their process, the science behind it, and the difference of what makes DeHancer different from actually just using a LUT, because a LUT is just actually just a color table and you're just changing those values. Whereas with DeHancer, they are actually using the characteristics of the old film stocks to give your footage the look. And once I dive into the computer here, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so right now I have Affinity Photo pulled up and I have a few photos picked out. So I think we'll start with this one here. When you get it installed, it does give you a little bit of information on sort of the best practices on how you should develop your RAWs. And they typically say you just want to just do your exposure corrections. I like to underexpose my photos a little bit to give me a bit of a moodier look or to protect some of my highlights. So I'm just gonna get this exposure pulled up just slightly here. I'll just go in and I'll develop it. Once it's developed and you have it installed, it'll be under the filters tab. And again, they do a really good job of walking you through how to get it all installed and everything. And it was a really simple process. And as you can see, when I first loaded it in, you can go in and as they work on more film emulations, they will add it and update it to the program. And right now, as you can see, there is the 63 film emulations that is available. You can see on the side here that it gives you this amazing thumbnail preview of everything. There's beautiful ones like Agfa, and there's all the Fujichromes, and then the Kodak, which people love, and there's the Rolly and the Cinestills. Some of my favorites right now is the Agfa Chrome 200. Like, look at that. Boom, instantly you get this filmic look. Now, what they also give you is this push and pull. I'm not an expert at analog photography, but from my understanding, it was a technique for you to push the exposure or pull the exposure. And what that allows you to do is to get more contrast and less contrast and color saturation. And that was really a way for analog photographers to get creative with shooting film. I really like this Agfa 200, but just to show you, here is a very, very popular one that people use for portraits, which is Porta 160. And then one that is really popular is the Agfa 100. So I think I'm gonna go with the Agfa because I love that look. It's already looking good. You could probably export it like this, put it up on Instagram, and people love it. But they give you these controls over here, and you can change the temperature and you can change your tint compensation. Now with the expands, you can get, it's kind of like your levels. This is the print, which I don't use that often, and some of the color heads. And for me, this was kind of like controlling your split tones. The film grain is what I was really, really excited about. They explain it much further on their website, but it's actually using the image to recreate that grain. And as you can see, when I toggle it on and off, it is incredible. Like, it really adds this super unique and beautiful look. So in that, you can control the size, you can go a little crazy with it. You can change the amount. It's not just like this overlay, it's actually adding it to the image in a way where it's actually recreating it. It's using the original image to restructure and create that grain. And with this resolution slider, essentially when you add grain, it loses a lot of its sharpness and resolution. So they added this back in so you can punch that resolution back up if you want to. And I think if you're going for that filmic look, you're not going to want to go that high. And then it gives you these fine tools. You can adjust it and get the midtones to look a little less for me. And then there's usually a little bit more grain in the highlights. And again, if you look at the before and after of just the grain alone, look at how beautiful that looks. It's just so exciting to be able to get your content to look this good and this fast. What I've noticed though, if you're going to use the grain, is that on the computer, it can look a little stronger than you might think. But once you put it out onto Instagram, it actually doesn't show up very strong at all. So if you definitely want to have a more prominent grain, you're gonna want to have it a little bit higher. Now, halation is what you often get when you use to shoot in analog film, and it gives you a little bit of that red glow. So you'll see here, it gives you that glow. And then local diffusion kind of targets more individual parts of the photo or footage. And then global, so you see how it's just rising sort of across the entire image. And if you want, you can dial it in right about there. And now suddenly you really get that cool vintage look. And look at that, off, on. Once you hit OK, it goes in, it does its magic, and boom, you have your shot. You can still go in and adjust HSL and make some other small adjustments, but I think right out of the box, that looks good. This shot I thought was incredibly fun. I can click through to see what we like. This Kodak Gold 200 just brings me back so many memories because it was one of the film stocks that I shot with a lot because it was cheap. Let's go with this Agfa 100 just for fun. We will warm up the image just slightly, and like right away you can see how it gives your image this nostalgic look. And especially with these roller skaters and everyone in the background, you can get that look so quickly, and it just gives you this feeling and this vibe. And if you look at it, it's not really even affecting the colors. That's the beautiful part about film emulation versus a LUT. It's not changing the colors, it's just adding this characteristic. We want to add in some halation. It gives that really beautiful, that little extra sauce right on the photo. Now, this one was one of my favorite shots of that day. And I'm just gonna do this one nice and quick. We'll go with the Porta 160, which is super famous for beautiful skin tones. We can make it a little bit warmer. Pop in the grain. See how she has these little sparklers here, this tinsel that glows a little bit. Another thing that they have that's really cool that I hadn't talked about yet was the bloom. And what's awesome about the bloom is gives you like this glow, and bloom really works better in shots at nighttime where there are street lights. But when there's a little bit of glow like this, you can really see that it's affecting just sort of this little area right here. If you look very carefully at her tinsel, gives it that nice bloom. And again, everything that they do is nice and subtle. Just a little add-on that really just takes your photo from a photo that anyone can take, super clean and simple, to something that has character. I love this Agfa Color 100. And that's the other beautiful thing, is they have curated a lot of really great film stocks that aren't even around anymore. So it's not like you can just go out, buy a analog camera and buy the film and get that look. That's the default setting there. And if we drag that down and bring this down and bring this down to make it a little more subtle, as you can see how this resolution slider works. If you look at Kat's face right here, so that's low. And that is a little bit higher. And you can really see it take effect there. And usually when there's a lot of sun like this, there's gonna have some halation for sure. So if you look right there, you can see in her pants right there. And a lot of old school photography, you're gonna get that. So we'll add a little bit of that in. I was really trying to save those highlights in the sky, but we can jack this up. Beautiful thing about the RAWs coming out of the Sony a7 IV is, look at all this detail, like insane. See these lines here? We can really straighten them out a little bit. Go in, get the lines nice and straight, and then we will go in and give it a nice crop to kind of get Kat nice and centered, right about there. All the lines are looking nice. This old school black and white, I think, looks stunning. I also really like this Ilford. I could just export that right now and people would probably think that I shot that on an old school vintage medium format camera. Like, it looks, look at this. It looks so good. But the example that I did with the reel that I popped up at the beginning, the Fuji Pro 400H, which I love. We can bring this temperature down just slightly if we want to. And I added a little bit of halation in the shot there. I want to say that there's a lot of work that goes into getting your photos to look this good right away. But the thing is, the team at DeHancer did all the hard work for us. So as you can see, DeHancer is an extremely powerful tool. I've been so excited to share this with you because I've had so much fun working on my content using DeHancer. I think in an age where content is being put out at lightning speed, it is really valuable to have something that helps you make your content stand out. Now, DeHancer costs $199 US. And though that is a bit of a higher price point than some of the other preset packs or LUT packs, what I think is really valuable is that it really gives you that filmic and unique look, and it does it fast. When you're able to put out content quickly and consistently, it'll allow you to really build up your portfolio, and inherently that will lead to clients. And when a client sees that type of content, or a client or marketing team sees certain types of content trending, they will ask if you're able to help them achieve that look. And when you have this in your tool belt, you'll be able to say confidently, yes. The investment that you spend on this plugin will in turn pay for itself tenfold. People always talk about, we're so busy working and creating content for other clients and other people. But it's really important to sometimes when there's a tool or a piece of equipment, something that can help you grow, it is really, really important to invest in yourself and your business. And I think that buying something like this is doing that. Now, if you've liked everything you've seen so far and you want to get DeHancer for yourself, I will leave an affiliate link below and you can use code MNF10 and that will give you 10% off any of their products on their website. But if you're just curious, they also provide a 2-week trial. But I know that once you try it, you are gonna like it as much as I did right away. Thanks to the team at DeHancer, not only for creating this product, but for reaching out to me to ask me to try their product, because I'm so happy that I did. And I've, again, been truly, honestly, super excited to have something that I can use to help me get my content to look the way that, you know, not only me, but everyone out there who worked so hard to try to get it to look a very certain and specific way. That is pretty much it. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. And as always, live passionately and stay inspired.